Fat, it's a necessity in your well-balanced diet, but there is a dangerous side. Today, I will talk about something that might not be obvious: signs that you're eating too much fat. Fat is an essential part of our diet, but like anything, moderation is key. Let's dive into the 10 signs that indicate you're overdoing it on the fat intake. The role of fat in the body. One can better understand the indicators of fat intake in excess only when one knows the function of fat. Fat serves several vital functions, including energy source. Fat is a store of energy. Compared to carbohydrates and proteins, it provides 9 calories per gram and 4 calories per gram, respectively. It is a fuel source for low energy availability or prolonged physical activity. Nutrient absorption. Some vitamins like A, D, E, and K are fat-soluble and are absorbed in the absence of fat. It is important to have the right amount of fat to absorb these vitamins and maintain general health. Cellular structure. Fat is a major component in the development of cells and the activity of cell membranes. It is essential in maintaining cellular structure and functions and mediates cell-to-cell communication. Active in many biological processes. Hormone regulation. The fat is responsible for synthesizing the hormones, such as cortisol and sex hormones like testosterone and estrogen. The proper hormone balance is crucial for metabolic functioning, reproductive health, and life in general. There is a need for fat in the body to maintain its health. Still, too much of it can adversely affect different aspects of health, including cardiovascular health, weight management, and metabolism function. Here are the signs you're eating too much fat. Weight gain. Some of the signs that you may be overdosing on fat include weight gain. Overconsumption of fat may cause a mismatch between calorie intake and expenditure, accumulating body fat as the excess calories remain stored. Even though fat is a constituent of a healthy diet, high-fat intake can lead to an unwanted weight increase over time. Regular monitoring of fat intake and the preference for healthier sources of fat, like unsaturated fats found in nuts, seeds, and fatty fish, can be a useful way to avoid weight gain and achieve overall wellness. Loose stools. Nobody enjoys making an uncomfortable bathroom trip. However, if you consume too much fat, you can have loose stools. Insufficient absorption of fat-containing diets can lead to excessive fluid production in the colon, resulting in diarrhea. Foods with more fat typically have less fiber as well. Vegetables, fruits, and whole grains include fiber, which gives your stool a greater density. Therefore, a low-fiber diet may also cause loose stools in addition to a high-fat diet. Digestive issues. High-fat diets may cause side effects, including bloating, gas, and heartburn, since the body often cannot efficiently digest and absorb excess dietary fat. Furthermore, consuming unhealthy fats such as saturated and trans fats, mostly in processed foods, can worsen digestive discomfort. Awareness of how your body reacts to fat-rich meals indicates that substituting healthier fat options, such as unsaturated fats from nuts, seeds, or fatty fish, can help alleviate digestive issues while boosting digestive health generally. Consulting a health professional is necessary to obtain individualized advice and care when persistent digestive problems occur. Skin problems. One of the signs that you may have a fat consumption problem is that you are suffering from skin problems. High-fat diets, especially those that contain high concentrations of saturated and trans fats, may cause skin problems such as acne, inflammation, and oily skin. An overindulgence in fats can upset the equilibrium of hormones and stimulate sebum production, resulting in the pores becoming blocked and acne. Furthermore, diets high in unhealthy fats promote inflammatory processes in the body, thus exacerbating skin problems such as eczema. Fat monitoring and selecting healthier sources of fat can mean clear, healthy skin and lower the risks of skin problems linked to excessive fat consumption. Constant hunger. Constant hunger may be a result of excessive fat intake. Exceeding the recommended amount of fat, which is important for energy, can cause disturbances in appetite regulation and cause hunger. A high-fat diet, particularly one consisting of unhealthy fats, including saturated and trans fats, may lack essential nutrients and fiber to satisfy you. Excessive fat ingestion also causes insulin resistance, intensifying hunger cravings. If you always find yourself hungry despite regular meals, it is a good idea to re-examine your fat intake and then consider the adjustments to have a well-balanced diet. Fatigue and low energy. Tiredness and lack of energy are indicators that you're eating too much fat. Although fat is a great energy source, too much of it can cause a condition known as tiredness and lack of energy. If consumed in excess, the process of digesting high-fat meals can take longer, and subsequently, the energy levels may decrease. Besides that, diets containing excessive amounts of unhealthy fats, like saturated and trans fats, may also add to inflammation and cause cell function to worsen, which also leads to more fatigue. Suppose you regularly feel tired and low on energy. In that case, it requires you to reevaluate your diet and choose healthier sources of fats, whilst also keeping an eye on the overall intake to maintain energy balance and wellness. Joint pain. A symptom that may suggest that you are overconsuming fat is joint pain. A high intake of fats, particularly those from foods rich in saturated and trans fats, can effectively promote the development of inflammation throughout the body, causing the joints to feel uncomfortable and stiff. Keeping a check on the fat intake and choosing healthier sources of fat, like the unsaturated fat found in nuts, seeds, and fatty fish, can be helpful in easing joint pain and keeping overall joint health healthy. Difficulty concentrating. Not being able to focus on something could indicate excessive fat intake. On the one hand, fat is a vital element for sustaining a healthy brain. Yet, too much of it, particularly the unhealthy fats, can adversely affect cognitive ability and cause mental fuzziness. High-fat diets, especially those abundant in saturated and trans fats, have proven to result in reduced ability to concentrate and pay attention. You might consider reviewing your fat intake and adjusting it to ensure optimal functionality of your brain and better overall health if you notice that you don't have enough concentration or are distracted. Increased risk of chronic diseases. Unhealthy habits raise the chance of being chronically diseased. The presence of a high-fat intake is seen in the development of an increase in the risk of chronic diseases. An excess of fat, specifically unhealthy ones such as saturated fats and trans fats, may cause cholesterol level elevation and increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases like heart and stroke. Moreover, obesity, diabetes, and certain kinds of cancer can also be as a result of excessive fat intake. Tracking the amount of fat consumed and making healthier choices of where the fat comes from can help keep these risks at bay and promote better health overall. Elevated blood sugar levels. In addition, in case your blood sugar levels are higher than usual, it is likely that you have consumed too much fat. An abundant consumption of dietary fats, particularly unhealthy fats, are linked to insulin resistance and impaired glucose metabolism. When the body cannot handle blood sugar well, it may result in the blood sugar being too high, which makes the risk of diabetes and other metabolic diseases higher. Tips to control fat intake. Now that we've looked at some signs that you might be consuming too much fat, let's go over 5 tips on how to manage your fat intake and achieve a better balanced diet. Read labels carefully. Tip number 1 is to read labels carefully. Pay attention to the nutritional information on food packaging and look for hidden sources of fat, especially saturated and trans fats. Be mindful of serving sizes and choose foods with lower fat content whenever possible. Choose healthy fats. Tip number 2 is to choose healthy fats. Not all fats are created equal. Take healthy fats such as nuts, seeds, avocados, and fatty fish like salmon. These type of fats are not only good for your heart health, but can also help keep you feeling full and satisfied. Cook at home. Tip number 3 is to cook at home more often. When you prepare your own meals, you have more control over the ingredients and cooking methods. Choose lean proteins, whole grains, and plenty of fruits and vegetables, and limit the amount of added fats and oils you use in cooking. Practice portion control. Tip number 4 is the practice of portion control. Healthy fats can also surprisingly add up when it comes to calorie counts, so consumption amounts do matter. Use measuring cups and spoons to measure fats like oils and nut butter, and try to take up half of your plate with fruits and vegetables at each meal time. Be mindful of snacking. Tip number 5 is to watch for snacking. Sometimes snacking can significantly contribute to the hidden fats in your diet, especially if you're choosing processed snacks such as chips and cookies. In place of this, choose healthier snack choices such as fresh fruit, veggies with hummus, or a small amount of nuts. And there you go, 10 signs that you are consuming too much fat. Although fat is a vital nutrient that performs a diverse spectrum of functions, a high intake may result in health problems such as weight gain and difficulty in losing weight. Keep in mind the need for balance, variety, and moderation in your diet when ensuring long-term health and vitality. If you have these symptoms, take some time and think if you need a diet assessment. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next time.